the Radial Filter. And it's right below the histogram, and it's this little guy here right to the left of the Localized Adjustment tool. So if I select the tool and Command double click, Control double click on a Windows machine, it fills the entire image. And if you look here, when I hold my cursor down over the point for the Radial Filter tool, you can see the red. It's applied to the outside of the image. Now I'm just going to create the vignette, super vignette. And to do that, I've got all of my options here under the Radial Filter tool, and I'm going to take the exposure and crank it all the way to the right. Now I've started my super vignette. And to finish it off, I'm going to go down here to Effects, Post-Crop Vignetting, and drag it all the way to the right. Now I've got a nice white background on this. I want to make the frog pop just a little bit more. So first thing, he's gotten a little bit too bright for me because of what I did. So I'm going to take the exposure and drop it back a little bit. And I'm going to create another Radial Filter tool. This time I'm going to go right in the middle of the frog and hold down the Shift key and drag, and it's creating a perfect circle. Now if I release the Shift key and drag the endpoints, I can resize this to fit just the frog. I'm going to drag this down a bit, and you see I've got two instances of the Radial Filter in here. One for the vignette on the outside of the image and one for the frog, as you can see by the overlay when I hold my cursor over the point. And now for the frog, what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase saturation and increase sharpness just that little bit. But notice it's not doing anything to the frog. That's because it's on the outside of the image. The Radial Filter is applied outside of the actual area. So what I need to do is invert the mask. And now when I make changes, and it's a subtle change, but when I increase the sharpness, you can see it. I can change tint, contrast, exposure, so many different things. I can make clarity pop just a little bit too. And that's before my change, and that's after. So the Radial Filter tool can be used for a lot of different things, and I will refer to this in different tutorials. But for right now, that's an introduction to the Radial Filter tool. I've made the frog pop, and I've made the outside of the image that much lighter. And those are just a couple of things you can do with the Radial Filter tool in Lightroom.